Here tonight with my awesome host. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing
We're
fantastic.
doing great.
Doing fantastic. Life is good.
So tonight we are talking about rebuilding Black relationships. And tonight we're going to define the problem.
Yeah.
So I would like to pass the mic to Mr. H for him to let us know what he feels like are some of the problems that's contributing to failed relationships in the Black community.
Okay. I have like a 1A, 1B, and 1C. My first 1A is that it starts when we are young and how we rear our children. I think the Black community needs to take a serious look at the type of men and women that we manufacture from 0 to 18. We put our kids through a lot of miseducation and misrepresentation about what manhood is. For 18 years, we put our little girls about through misrepresentation about what true womanhood is. We put them through a lot of trauma through broken marriages, broken homes. We also don't have a lot of people who take the time to really teach proper development as far as like how you construct a healthy relationship. So we never get to see that growing up. Then after almost two decades from 0 to 18 of miseducation, misrepresentation, and trauma and unresolved issues, we send them out into the world and say, now go have a healthy male-female interpersonal relationship. And that's just a backwards way of thinking.
Okay. That was awesome. I definitely can agree with that. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and pass the mic.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Guy, the insurance man.
Okay. Mike, look close. Okay. You good right here? All right, listen, there's two things that I think that contributes to relationships breaking down in the Black community. First thing is everyone recognizing that they are broken. A lot of time goes by, we see a lot of things, and we think we get ourselves in these great positions, and we fail to recognize that we have yet to truly understand why, again, we are single and going through the process of we're building ourselves. So one, we have to know and recognize that we are single, are broken. And then secondly, after we recognize we are broken, creating a solution to put ourselves back together. But putting yourself back together isn't an individual thing. And that's where we make the mistake, because we think we can fix ourselves. No, you need that confirmation from a spouse or a significant other or a family member or the person that helped break you. You need that clarification. And we don't do that. So now we are under this perception that we have repaired ourselves and we go into this new relationship, and then those old ghosts of the past begin to haunt us again. So that's number one. The second thing, and the most important thing, put your seatbelt on. Put your seatbelt on.
Let me put mine on. I'm ready.
Child molestation in the Black community.
Wow.
We don't realize how many people have been impacted by molesters, Uncle Rufus, Auntie Shannon, mothers, fathers, and it went unspoken, and you've shattered. You're not even a piece of a piece, and you're trying to go and have a healthy relationship with someone, and you haven't healed from that process. So I think those are the two biggest contributors to Black relationships failing.
Wow. That's powerful.
Definitely powerful.
We're going to pass the mic to Anitra, the realtor.
Hi guys. For me, I think there's two problems with relationships, and one is sometimes you have to look at yourself and see, because a lot of times, we think that, it's the other person, but communication is one. A lot of people don't know how to communicate, okay? And that's the number one problem in a lot of relationships, because once the communication is gone and there's no communication, then really you have nothing, you know. You really have nothing, because if you're talking to someone and they're not communicating and they're not being open with you as to what's going on with them, then how do you know how to fix a problem if there's a problem in the relationship?
Right.
And number two is trust. A lot of people have trust issues. It stems back to what Guy was saying. People have deep rooted issues,
Yes.
from their past, and now they don't trust. So then they get into relationships and then they have problems trusting that person that they're with, because of something they went through in their past. Whether they were molested, they don't trust men. So now they're looking at all men, or, vice versa with the man. Maybe something happened with their mother and now they don't trust women. So,
Wow.
those are my two issues. Those are the two problems for me.
Emperor S, what you got for me?
Well, one of my greatest things in terms of why black relationships are basically breaking down is the value of the man. How do we place the value of that man in the household when it's easy for you to in a household and they'll tell you get out or anything of that nature. So the value of the man, whether his currency has he turned into currency or has he just turned into a playset,
Wow.
that's something that's really important within a black relationship. The second thing that I would address in terms of the black relationship would be how are our women being raised for a black man?
Wow.
Whether they're being raised with the trauma bonds, whether they're being raised with abuse, whether they're being raised with, like my friend said, molestation, things of that nature. So those would be my number one and number two issues with the black relationship.
Wow. That's deep. So we're gonna pass the mic to Kim, the travel agent. What you got, Kim?
Hi everyone. So for me, I'm gonna speak for the millennials. I think the one of the I'm gonna say the first thing, the first problem in our generation, when it comes to relationships, is the fact that the way that we communicate. We have technology nowadays to where everyone is just texting versus having a verbal conversation over the phone. Me growing up, I am a millennial, but however, me growing up, I remember when there was a time where there wasn't cell phones. So all we had to do was talk on the phone. And I mean, like, we would really speak literally from sun up to sundown. Now, everyone's speaking over text message, which I find a big issue in the millennial world today, because that's to me not proper communication. A text message can be taken out of content very easily.
That's true.
So I would say definitely, the communication, the way we communicate in our in today's society with the millennials, that's number one. Number two, as far as the problem with relationships, I would actually say it's the individual that's not taking accountability, that doesn't recognize, that maybe I am the problem. Maybe it is me and not you. Just taking accountability overall, because a lot of the times you want to blame it on the next person and it's you.
Right.
There's some childhood issues that you're not dealing with, that you haven't dealt with, that may interfere with your current relationship or your future, even not even just relationship. It can be a friendship or the way you communicate with your family members or whatever. I think it's more so working on yourself as an individual, recognizing the problem and just facing it head on, so that you don't have to bring that into the relationship. So, yeah.
Wow, these are very, very interesting. We got work to do, guys.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that for me, I say that one thing is people not knowing what they really want.
Yeah.
I think that we aggress towards situations, and I saw this video. It was probably a guy maybe your age, Kim.
Okay.
And he was talking about men in this instance, and he was talking about a man without a plan doesn't know what kind of wife he needs because he hasn't defined the plan. So if you don't understand where you're going in life, just say if your intentions is to be a business owner,
Right.
then maybe you need a wife that's business savvy.
Right.
But if you haven't defined that, you don't know what kind of woman you need.
Right.
And so I think that in my opinion, society has allowed Black men in particular to go a very long time lacking accountability. You know,
Black men.
Black men, yes, 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 yes. In particular, when we're talking about building and we're talking about the headship, of course, we have gone, lacking accountability as a society as a whole, just people, period.
Humans.
But when we're talking about building Black relationships, and we're talking about the headship of these relationships, then I am a strong believer that we have to focus on the men first.
I agree
men
with that.
first.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Your
Because
leaders.
I'm supposed to follow you.
Right.
So if you don't know where you're going, then where the hell you taking me?
Right.
So what about the women that's reluctant to follow?
Well, this is it. So it still goes back to the man because you chose a woman that was reluctant to follow.
Right.
So do I
Okay.
strangle you and make you follow?
No, you just choose well.
So if we have a competent conversation, we get to a specific point in that conversation, and you're still unwilling to follow. What do I do? Do I continue to convince you that I'm worth following? Because now I lose myself because what I thought was what I needed for a woman to follow isn't in place. So now do I continue to get you to follow?
Absolutely not, because you should have. That's something that you should have been able to tell early on to make a determination. This is not somebody that I want to continue with because I need a partner.
Right.
I need a partner. I don't need to.
So it's our fault. Right. It's our fault.
I'm just saying.
It,
It's
well,
levels.
listen. Let's be real
Yeah.
now. Let's be real. When your homegirls, your sister, your cousin, maybe even somebody's mom, when they come tell you what Raekwon did, you be like, "Hey, you chose that dude."
That's true. And that's the truth.
That's y'all tell us that all the time.
All the
That's
time.
it's like a broken record.
Right.
Y'all need to stop choosing them kind of dudes.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be real with you. In 2021, maybe it's COVID. I don't know, but I can't tell the difference.
Okay.
I can't tell the difference in the dudes that we should choose and the ones that we shouldn't.
Okay. He got his hand up.
Yeah,
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead,
ahead.
bro.
Okay,
I'm ready
see-
to take off now.
Okay, so
My
I
engine is revving right now, man. Go ahead.
like I
Go ahead.
know we're not in Mother Africa, but I think that there are some principles that we need to hold near and dear to. Our people historically, we did not create a hierarchy in terms of value when it came to the development of men and women from boyhood and little girlhood. I think we could walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we could teach men teach little boys how to grow up to be the men that women need, and we also could raise little girls to grow up and be the women that know how to choose the man that's good for them. When we start creating this hierarchy and start prioritizing the importance of who we should focus on first, I think that's a slippery slope. I think we could develop our boys and girls into the proper men and women at the same time.
So let me ask you this, okay? So if we don't want to use a hierarchy, then is everything not developed in a process? So if the man is supposed to be the head, so we could do one or two things. We can go by the hierarchy, and the man does what he's supposed to do, or we could remove that and then we remove all of the gender roles. See, what it sounds like to me is that men want the benefit to being the head, but they don't want the responsibility
You better-
of
Let me
being the
clarify that. Let me
head.
respond to
Speak
that. Let me
it.
clarify, 'cause she
Speak
said
it.
that. Let me clarify that.
It's true.
Okay, again,
true.
when we're talking,
it.
it's not that men don't want the responsibility of being the head. It's that they're not prepared for the responsibility of being the head, and it's our job as a people to develop and raise boys to get up. It's no sense in getting a position that you're not qualified for.
Absolutely.
So the same way, it's no sense in putting little girls in, or as women, in a position that they're not qualified for, because I subscribe to the ideology of Frederick Douglass when he said it is better to raise strong children than to men broken men.
Correct.
And that goes, and even though he said men, he meant that for women too.
Right.
And that is to be done simultaneously.
Okay. So, but we talking about grown 40-year-olds at this point.
Well, at this particular point in time, you have to realize who's raising the man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a masculine and a feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
So if that masculine and feminine energy isn't there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just feminine, how do you expect for him to go and raise another family when he doesn't even have tools to do it? He doesn't even know how to fish. He doesn't know how to hunt. He doesn't know how to do anything.
But
Let me say this, Denitra, before you jump in,
okay.
because I you know what, I'm like this whole thing with black men not knowing, like, why y'all think black women know?
Right.
Like, we figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
We figure it out. We are not in society saying, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do my daughter's hair.
Right.
We figure it out.
No,
we
y'all don't.
Yes, we do.
Definitely.
Okay, if we,
You go first, and then and if you want,
I think
I
I know
got
what
you.
he's going to say.
Let's go.
So if that's where you're saying that you figure things out, why are we here at this table today?
You want to know? You want me to answer that? Or you want me to just turn? Look, can you put the camera on just them, just the men? Can you put?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
Can you put the camera on just the men? Because that's my answer.
let me
Like,
put the
no,
camera on this
if we want to dig, if we want to really dig deep, like, seriously, it is about, we can address the issues about white supremacy. We can address the issues with the things that have been systemically placed in our society for us to fail. We get that. I'm by no means am I saying those things do not exist, because they do exist. There is a system out here for us to be at odds with each other. There is a system. It does exist. But right now in 2021, now that we know that it's there, what are we going to do about it? Like, it comes to a place to where everybody's got to be accountable. Everybody's got to be responsible. Everybody has to make a decision that we need to do something different, and we're going to do something different.
And I keep hearing people say that they're not ready. Here's the thing. In a relationship, you don't get in a relationship if you're not ready.
Right.
Okay? That's just number one. You don't get in a relationship if you're not ready.
You're not supposed to.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're not supposed to, but you don't get in the I'm not going to say you don't supposed to. I'm going to say you do not get in a relationship if you're not ready. If you're not ready to be honest and true to yourself, you don't get in a relationship.
Right.
I'm just
Okay.
And
All right.
that's
All
I'm
right.
just saying.
So we got to back
You
up.
don't.
We got to back
Yeah,
up.
back up to
We got to
this.
back up.
Yeah,
We gotta
but I'm
back
just
up.
right here.
saying.
But we got to
You
back up.
don't.
But we got to back up. So what happens is this: there's this perception that you should be in this position in order to share a mate. That's where we fail.
I don't believe that.
I would expect a woman not to believe that
Nah, I
because
don't
she want a man to come to the
Facts.
table at a certain
Facts.
spot. But
No,
that's-
I'm not that kind of woman, honestly.
But I got to finish my statement.
Okay, go ahead.
So the perception is we should be at this fictitious level because that's all it is, right? Because you're gonna say, like I heard, you should have a relationship with his mama. That's inconsequential. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you what I hear. Should have a certain credit score. Inconsequential. You should have obtained X, Y, Z. Inconsequential.
Yeah,
and
I
I'ma
ain't
say
saying none of
this
that.
because every woman, before we choose to exchange phone numbers,
Mm-hmm.
we look at a person and we expect them to look a certain way.
Not 100%.
Wait, not 100%, but it's a percent, right? Right?
Look a certain way. Like, what are
You
we
gotta
talking about
look
right here?
like physically that you, and I'm just using this because this is the words that I hear. Or you got to at least have a job. What I got to do with how you know, take care. Wait, time.
Well, you
No, time.
gotta have
You gotta
something.
follow
You don't have to have a car.
Wait,
You ain't got to have a license. You ain't got to have your own.
gotta have a
but you
job.
just got to have a job.
Wait,
That's
wait,
it. Like,
wait.
and that's too much.
Just this is what happened. This is what happened.
brother.
This is what happened. This is what happened. because we under these notions that a person should have X, Y, Z. Because if we physically gave what we expect from a woman, you guys would think we were terrible, right? And we know what men.
But I think you should.
Wait. So let's talk about why I'm talking about this. The word is love, which we were talking about earlier, which is an emotion, not a feeling. But we allow the perception of it being a feeling to dictate how we correspond with our significant
I
other,
agree.
right?
I agree.
So love can be masked, meaning I can put on the table what I know a specific woman desires. I can manipulate that at any given time. Any given time. And I can do that as long as I need to accomplish what I want. So y'all call that a mask, right?
Yes.
That's the mask, right?
That's the mask.
We call that what we were raised to do.
That's pretend.
And guess who raised us to do that? You ready for this?
Was
Ready
it
for this?
was it the mama?
Doggone mama.
Oh,
Our
okay.
mama taught us.
Your mama
right?
taught you.
Right?
Relationship.
That's what I say. I got my game from a woman.
Yep.
Our mama, because they grew up in a society understanding, right, what women desire, and they want the best for their sons.
So your mama taught you to put the mask on and be a pretender.
No, my mama taught me. This is what my mama taught me.
See, that's what
Joe,
that's what I want to know.
Listen
I'm just
carefully.
saying.
My mama
Yeah, let him
taught
clarify.
me
Let him clarify.
what I needed to be to attract what I wanted. Society taught me how to manipulate it.
Okay. So that's fine. I'm going back to
I didn't teach
education.
my son that.
And guess what? My mama didn't sit me down and say, son, let me tell you.
You watched?
I observed.
Yeah.
what did you observe though?
Come on, man.
Because
You observed?
but-
Did you
because-
observe how she interacted with other men?
I
Is that what you
observed
watched?
my mama's path, which I love my mama, and she did what she needed to do to take care of her first son.
Okay, I understand.
And
what
I
you're saying.
watched it and I paid attention to it. Because guess what? That's the first woman I loved. So if it was something she was interested in, I knew in life I had to be a part of that. Because the woman I love likes it, so therefore I have to embody it.
Well, that's a very, very good. That's a good thing to pick up right there.
We can keep walking, but let's get an understanding of that before I take you to the next level.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I got an
understand
understanding.
Make sense?
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I got
So
it.
now, since that's clear,
It don't make sense to me, but I got it.
so
They
that's
acknowledge.
do you
They're
agree?
acknowledging.
Right.
Got what
Do
you saying.
you agree?
Hold on, you have a male
yeah.
child,
Do
right?
you
Yeah,
agree?
I have a male son.
And your male child didn't see you interacting with multiple men
No.
in and out of the house.
No, he didn't see me with multiple
but
men
there's some
because
children
I
out here-
had a respect level
But see,
with
there's-
my kids.
There's some women out here that have young kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going from one man to the next man to the next man.
Okay,
to
so
the next
because I see my mom, if my mom was going from men to men, I'm supposed to now decide to go from men to men because I'm grown and I seen my mom.
Well, at some point in your life, you're going to be conditioned that that behavior is okay.
And it's a generation.
Okay.
And then you're going to teach that to your kids. And your kids are going to see that, and the cycle continues.
So for clarity purposes, wait, right quick.
Yeah.
For clarity
Go
purposes,
ahead, go ahead.
it wasn't
Go ahead.
the man, it was the type of man. So I'm not speaking in reference to the man to man. I didn't get there yet.
Somebody said you're right.
Yeah, I didn't get there yet. I didn't get to the man to man. I'm just going for the type of man. So if my mama like this type of man, she love this man, guess what? That's the woman I love. That's what I got to become.
Okay.
Because I aspire for her love. That's the love that I'm looking for.
I can get
Now, once I understood that type of man and what comes with it, now society taught me how to use that to my advantage.
that. Mm-hmm.
That's what society taught me.
Mhm.
And guess who co-signed that?
Mm-hmm.
Other women. Because when I did it, and I did it with perfection, I accomplished everything that I wanted. But when I made a mistake, I always fell short. And guess who co-signed that? Other women.
But so that's the same as women. We look for men like our father.
Correct.
But then you guys say we're asking for too much.
No. Who said that?
I'm just
Don't
saying
say that.
some men say that.
Generic.
You know,
She's
some
speaking in
men
general.
say
She's speaking in
that.
general.
Yeah.
Speaking
Oh,
in
okay.
general.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Your example of your father is not the type of father. Let's say your father got 25 kids in 7 different countries. Is that the example you want to follow?
No, that's not the type of
But
father
that's
we're looking for.
contradicting. I would
Very,
say that because
very.
I'm going to piggyback on what you said.
Mm-hmm.
You said that growing up, if you see your mom or dad with this woman, or that man, and that man, you're going to be conditioned to be just like that, your mom or your dad. Isn't that what you
So
said?
I didn't say this or that. I said a specific type of
Okay. Okay, let's say that. But there comes a time in life where you are able to recognize right from wrong.
Correct.
What's appropriate, what's not appropriate in life. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, you're going to come to the point where you're going to be mature at some point and you're going to say that's not right. You know, I do understand that that's how it happened in the household or that's who I saw doing this and you know doing this and doing that. But you're going to come to your common sense to say that I don't want to live a life like that. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that man or that woman. You know what I mean?
And someone said that you are a product of our environment. And that's true, you know, because, you know, especially from Miami, I can only speak on Miami and most of us, all of us in here are from Miami. So we did come from, you know, not the best environment.
Correct.
Right.
But like Kim just said, it comes a time when you have to make a decision that I don't want to go
Right.
down that same
Right.
road that my mother went down
Exactly.
or my aunt or my father or whatever the case is. Just like
Right.
if your father's a drunk. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm speaking
Right,
hypothetically. If your father's a drunk, does that mean you want to grow up and be a drunk because your father was a drunk?
Correct.
Or your mother was a
You
drunk?
you are a product of your environment, but you do not have to remain a product of your
Exactly.
environment.
You
And
have a
so
choice.
that is where I'm aggressing towards the conversation. Like we understand the things that we grew up with. We understand that, you know, most of us had challenges. Most of us may have come from broken homes.
Right.
You know, people have issues that have occurred to them, molestation, abandonment issues, all of that.
Abuse. Women have been
Abuse.
abused.
Correct.
Yeah.
Men have been abused.
Right.
The whole nine. You know, the issues that contributes to our problems do not stop.
Right.
But when do we stop those things from taking control over our lives?
Right.
Like we have to make a choice at some point.
I
Okay.
agree.
Great word. Choice.
Correct.
That has to be done.
Correct.
So let me not get too far away from the point because we skipped a lot. So now, since we've identified with the first woman that a man loved,
Mm-hmm.
right? And since we identified with why we took the path that we took because we loved our mama, we said that's the type of dude she was dating.
Correct.
So that's what we wanted to be a part of. Now, when we decide to either be a part of it or not be a part of it, I got two terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's called adverse or auspicious,
Correct.
right? So let's talk about adverse.
Mm-hmm.
You see your mama, she dating this dude providing, you guys living a pretty good life. It's a healthy relationship. As far as you're concerned, you're a kid, you really don't know, but you don't see nothing that's problematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You begin to kind of follow those steps of that guy.
Correct.
That's the adverse effect. Now the auspicious effect, right? No, that's the
Adverse.
auspicious effect. The adverse effect is your mama dating this guy and it's a terrible relationship. They fighting, they this, they that. And I can speak for me. Like, and I've had this conversation with people that's close to me, so they know and they listening. Like I literally told my sister daddy I was gonna kill him. I was a little boy. I saw what he was doing to my mama. When I got old enough to kill him, I went to look to kill him. That's what I wanted to do because I saw what he was doing to my mama. Right? That's the adverse effect to what was going on in my environment. So after time went on, I grew, I matured, you know, that's the word we use. I matured and I began to date women, right? Right? So I'm dating women.
Right.
So I am a nerd. Anybody that truly know me, they know I'm a nerd. I just grew up in a terrible environment. So it's just some
I would say you was a
attributes that I
nerd.
picked up on. No, I'm literally, that means you don't know me. That means you was not in class with me because I am truly a nerd. If you know me, people will co-sign that. If you went to school with me, I'm a nerd. Literally, right? So now once I got beyond being a nerd and I picked up these attributes from my community, I became a product of my environment, I began to utilize them. The first utilization was the nerd. I wanted to have an intellectual conversation. But no, I don't know what you was when you was young, but the hot girl, right? That I'm trying to, you know, let her know how intelligent I am and how we can change the world. I ain't getting nowhere. I ain't getting nowhere. That conversation bore her.
Right.
It's only gonna get me so far, right? So even if I saw that nerd man dating my mom and I'm trying to walk in his footsteps, I'm not getting the results that I was looking for.
Okay.
So guess what? I tried a different method because insanity, try the same method, looking for a different result. That's definition of insanity, right? So I wasn't insane, so therefore I tried something different. And when I tried it different, I got the results I was looking for. So now I gotta think to myself, do I want to continue trying to educate and entertain with my intellect, or I just want to use this game and get what I'm looking for, right? It's easier to use the game. It's less muscles to use the game as opposed to using the intellect.
So you had an ulterior motive.
No, I didn't have an ulterior
Yes, you
motive.
did.
I had a motive.
Okay, well, you had a motive. So
And the motive was
Uh-huh.
to get the results I was looking for.
Okay.
What was the results I was looking for as a kid?
you was
A
trying
young
to
bull. What I want.
you trying to smash.
Exactly.
Okay.
We ain't gonna cut the corner with it.
We
right?
got it.
I'm trying to get in there. You hear me?
Okay.
So, therefore,
Okay.
I couldn't keep using the intellectual technique, right? Because in my neighborhood,
It's not
wasn't
gonna work.
much intellect.
No, it
Okay.
was
Not gonna work.
So, being that, because we having a lot of past tense conversations right
I
now,
gotta bring you up.
but well, I
But
mean,
this is where it stems from.
okay, that's fine. We
These
we
are our
we,
thoughts.
we got that. We understand that that's where it stems from. But the problem is that we still have 40 and 50-year-olds that are still operating in this past tense behavior, which is actually still current.
Right.
So a part of the problem that we're having is every time a woman says something about a man and his behavior, he goes to society's taught me this. My mama taught me this. My daddy like a whole big kid. It's like a whole kid.
Okay. Yeah. I'm tag me. No, you got your tab.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
See, because you got to understand, a lot of this is fear-based. Fear-based on the man, even though he may not tell you.
I'm so sick of y'all with these excuses.
He's afraid because the reaction that you're going to give him, you got to understand this. We have fear too. We have feelings. We're not robots.
Y'all fear is y'all ain't gonna smash. That's it.
That's not
That's a whole
Or
fear.
control.
That's
Whole fear.
They're just to smash you.
So
Some people are there to uplift you, and some people are there to soothe you. They want the mantle, but the problem is that sometimes women are so aggressive, they will not even pass the mantle. They want the mantle for themselves. They want to be the husband and the wife.
Funny.
So yeah, that's
Y'all are
These
funny.
dynamics that we have to battle out here.
Go.
These the dynamics that we have to battle with.
Go ahead, Disco.
yeah, because they saying,
Did-
what about
did-
the woman? They want to know what.
What I'm saying, okay,
But see, I can't speak for a woman because I'm not a woman.
Why we know that.
Oh, really?
okay, I'm not gonna speak for a woman either.
Let me get that tag, brother.
But let me get it real quick.
Let me get that tag.
I want.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I tag you.
This is the advice I would give to a woman who is dealing with a man whose behavior she wants him to change. Boys nor men change behavior as long as the behavior is rewarded. Hold on, let me finish. The problem is,
Can you turn his mic off?
the problem is because if you're expecting, I've been this way, like I'm gonna use the age range you said, I'm in my 30s and my 40s. I've been this way for 30, 40 plus years. If you think I'm gonna just, after having my behavior rewarded, because women love bad boys, y'all love dudes with that type of behavior, you do. And if you think after having my behavior rewarded, I'm gonna just wake up one day and just say, you know what, this is wrong. That's not gonna happen. Boys nor men change their behavior without consequences.
True.
You're gonna have to
That's
leave
true.
him alone.
That's true.
You're gonna have to, and see, that's the part you don't want to hear is your participation.
Oh, I don't have a problem
in
with
the
hearing it.
solution. Listen, you're going to have, because we've all seen a woman who have broken up with a man, and next thing you know, he begging and pleading the blood of Jesus about how he's going to change his behavior. The problem is y'all don't stay away long enough
That's
for him
true.
to actually make an innate change.
Now, that's
That's the real deal. But if you think it's going to happen
That's true.
by osmosis,
That's
that he's
true.
going to wake up one day and the spirit is going to hit him, that's not going to happen.
I totally get that, and I'm gonna
agree with
pass you
that.
this. I just want to say this. I understand and I agree with everything that you are saying. My only problem is it's childish. I don't have time for that.
human behavior.
That's
Ho.
what?
Wait. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Disco.
Jump in after that. Go ahead.
This is my problem with it. So many women always saying what the man don't do, this kind of stuff. at one time, that woman, you choose that man. So what about your upbringing?
Facts.
You pick me.
You right.
So evidently, your mama or daddy or sister or auntie, whatever, you put yourself in that category where
I
you
agree.
choose me. So don't talk about what a man ain't got, what he ain't doing, what he ain't good for. If you laid up with him, if you
Correct.
choose that man, so what about your upbringing?
I agree.
Why did I get your attention?
I'm not the person harping on any
No,
of
I'm
that.
not saying.
The only thing I'm talking
about women in general.
about-
So why did I get your attention?
I'm talking-
Why did you get drawn into me?
Right.
If you was a woman that was raised so damn right.
Right.
I-
And we can talk about
Yeah,
those type
yeah,
of things. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? He looked good, she looked
Yeah.
good, he drove a
Right.
nice car, whatever
Right.
people attract each other
Six
for.
pack.
Right.
I get six pack,
But,
pegs, you know what I'm saying? All
all
that
the-
good stuff. My thing is I don't like to continue to talk about how we got to the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's perpetual. But my thing is, where is the level of accountability for a man or a woman when y'all are addressing the issues to say, this is not who I need to be? All this stuff, I have never ever in my life heard anybody say, oh, if you just keep letting a woman do this, she's gonna, that's how we refer to kids. Like if you keep allowing them to do
Right.
things and they're rewarded for bad behavior, or you don't check the bad behavior, they're gonna keep doing it. Like at some point, you gotta grow up. Like
That's
all
true.
men cannot
That's
just walk
true.
around with that mindset.
Right, that's so true.
Yes.
So we cannot not address how we got here and think that we can solve where we're at.
No, I'm not saying don't address
Okay,
it.
So earlier you said that's childish.
It is.
So I just saw a segment, and I swear I don't watch this TV show, but I saw it on Facebook. Ayana saved my life. And if anybody listened, it was a part where the mother tore her son down and said how much she did not respect him. Even though he has a job, even though he raising his kids, even though he don't live with her, she don't respect him. Let me let y'all understand something. I know we're supposed to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're supposed to endure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we are human.
Mm-hmm.
And being human, we hurt too.
Right.
So some of the adverse actions that you see from
Why
us,
is the brothers paying for it?
it's us.
Why is the brothers paying for
It's
it?
us.
I know
No,
they can't
but it's us
Mm-hmm.
defending ourselves. So when we do that and you say you dismissing my
Okay,
feelings.
brother guy.
You're not acknowledging that. And I got you. But hold up. I need them to understand this. Because women do this shit all the time. They always do this. You're
First profane
supposed to be
word.
a man. You don't know what a man is. You wasn't raised by a man. You ain't raised no man. Don't tell me how to feel about me. Address my feelings. Let me know I'm relevant.
There we go.
And then once we
Right.
get past that, let's build.
Yeah.
But we can't build nothing if you're not going to address my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Because I matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how much you don't think I matter a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So no, nothing we do is childish. There's some things that we covet, and because of that, that prevents us from expressing who we are.
Maybe you misunderstood me.
No,
I'll
didn't.
say that.
Just the terminology, and I'm not, because I hear this from a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
You should just be a man. What's
Oh.
the man?
No, I'm not even saying that a man should
Well,
just be a man, because
I can
what
tell you
is
what
that?
man
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
That for every man, that's different, and for every woman, that's something different.
Gotcha.
But see,
I'm just
that's
saying.
the thing. Like he said, it goes back. You're asking for the solution.
Yeah, but he
Right.
just asked the question. I just want to tell him what when we say we just be a man, he wants to know what that means. Can I tell you real quick?
Mm-hmm.
When we say just be a man, we want you to be a leader. We want you to be a provider. We want you to be truthful. We want you to communicate your feelings, because we don't know if you hurting if you ain't communicate.
Right.
You know, we in the
And a
you
lot of
push us
times
to the
that happens.
side. You don't communicate with us, so we don't know what's going on with you.
Right.
So when we saying just be a man, we just want you to be a man and step up and lead your house.
And we're using the term man, and as this conversation is going,
question for you.
what it really is equating to is let's be grown. Let's be mature. Let's have an open, honest, transparent line of communication. It has nothing to do with woman. It has nothing to do with be a man. It's like, hey, we hear this a lot now that men are hurting, but before social media,
didn't
before people started coming forth,
We didn't know men
we
were
just
hurting.
felt like, hey, this is y'all say this who society made y'all, then this is who y'all being.
Listen.
We don't know that you're hurting unless there's a
Right.
communication.
Listen, I'm
Yeah.
gonna-
Right.
I'm gonna
Men
go
don't
back-
communicate
I'm
their
gonna go
hurt.
back again.
They don't.
Now, I want to tell you something. If a man tells you the truth the first time,
I respect you.
if he tells you the truth the first time,
I will respect you.
your reaction to him telling you that truth is gonna be what you're gonna get from that point on. If your truth, if him telling you the truth and you spaz out,
I
as
agree
they
with
say,
that.
I agree.
he's
definitely
never gonna
do.
tell you. The
I
truth.
agree. And that is a place, let me say
Okay.
this. That is a way,
Okay.
that is a place
I'ma
that
build
I
off of that.
challenge
I'ma build off of
women.
that. Go ahead.
I agree. That is a place that I challenge women in understanding how we respond and the
Right.
levels of criticism that we spew out when a man is vulnerable
Right.
and is being transparent with his feelings.
Right.
We have to understand, we have to respond a certain way
right.
so that we can develop that safe place for that
Right.
man to communicate
able
in,
to
because
come
black
back to
men
Understand.
don't have a safe place.
Understand.
Right.
And,
And
and
I
that's,
agree.
and that's,
I
and that's-
agree.
Not on earth.
Let me get this.
Hold
We
on,
have no
go
say.
ahead.
Understand.
I agree.
Understand the greatest thing that especially a black man can do is allow himself to be vulnerable.
Speak on
That
it.
is-
You have to understand that.
Yes.
So if he allows himself to fall in your bosom of relaxation from the world outside, you understand, and trust you with that feeling, and you scorn that feeling, you will never get that feeling back again.
I
Or-
agree.
Go ahead.
Oh, and that's the question I was going to ask you.
What were you gonna ask me?
Because that, to me, that's one of the biggest contradictions in Black America. We say we want black men to show their feelings and
Right.
be honest, but we don't create a psychologically safe place for them to do so. So my question is, if we're saying that's what we want, my question is, do you realistically, not just the women in this room, but holistically, because we thinking, about the masses, do we create a safe place for black men to be vulnerable?
No.
And that's a
Thank you.
good
And
question.
that's the problem.
No.
And
That's the problem.
So I'm
No.
gonna bring it to where we can touch it.
Well,
You
then
ready?
that's one of the
You ready?
problems.
That
I can
is
bring it
one
to
of
where
the
you
problems.
touch
That's the problem.
I can bring it to
That's
where you
one of the
touch it.
problems.
You ready for it? Okay, you 3 women out here, right? Have you ever made an acquaintance with someone and they begin to tell you their truth, and their truth didn't align with what you felt, so you chose to keep the acquaintance right where it was at, an acquaintance, and you didn't help that brother build or develop so that he can have that healthy relationships. We all can relate to that, right? I could relate
true.
to that with a woman that I dated in the past, and I don't use the word date because I didn't feel like I was dating her, but she means a lot to me now because I've seen her journey and I appreciate it. But I could have started that journey years ago for her, but I did not, because I allowed her, my perception of her, to dictate if that's the situation I wanted to be in. But there's no telling how God would have blessed me had I sacrificed my perceptions,
Yeah.
because He brought us in this path together for a reason.
I agree. I agree.
Yes, there is no psychological place on earth for men that's hurting. And because we're hurt, we don't want to continue to be hurt. So guess what we're gonna do? Mask on.
Mask on.
Mask on. I gotta have it on. Because if I take it off, I become vulnerable and I go back into a sunken place.
And so let me tell you what the problem with that is that, and I definitely agree with everything that you're saying.
agree with that.
However, if this same man is not equipped, like we're saying, they're not aware, a lot of men are growing up without fathers, without proper guidance and things like that. So in that same instance, you have these men that when they do meet a woman that could provide that for them,
Right.
they struggle with making that transition to, okay, is this the type of woman I need to be vulnerable with, or do I need to handle her? And that's another thing.
Right.
Men don't know the difference. A lot of men, I'm not going to say men because don't jump on me, but a lot of men don't know the difference between who they need to have as a side piece or a boo thing or
I
a
co-sign
friends
that.
with benefits
I
and a
co-sign.
wife.
Co-sign
Men
that.
don't, the value system that men are choosing wives nowadays is very shady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
agree.
And so that's the thing. Like if men are not aware of, okay, I think this is the type of woman that I need to make this transition, or I need to allow myself to be vulnerable with. If he doesn't know the difference of the women to do that with, then what does he do is he ends up hurting this lady.
Right.
So now we have a perpetual
Right.
cycle that just continues of a man hurting a woman, then that woman goes and hurt a man, then
Right.
that man go and hurt a woman, and then now we here in 2021 and we trying to figure out what the hell going on.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, wait, I think the
ahead.
question,
I got
there's a question. How, for the men, how do you, I think what I'm trying to say is, since we're getting to the root of everything, of the of the problem, how would you say, how would you explain it to the women out there? How can we create how can we create it, a vulnerable
Safe space.
a safe
Psychological
space? I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for the men.
Ready?
For the men.
Yeah.
I want you guys to elaborate on it.
How do
Just
we
tell me if I'm
create
right
a
when I'm
safe
So what
place
happened
for
is
the
the
men,
name of the show is the G
ladies?
spot, right? G spot.
Yes.
And the
Because
G stands for
men
what?
are hurting
Growth.
and they're not willing to be bothered.
So I'm gonna bring you up to growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to be shallow as hell. Like I would see a couple and I'm physically looking at them and I'm saying to myself, how did them two end up?
We all do that.
Right? Right? I used to be that person,
Definitely
right?
do.
But time has taught me.
He must got
that-
money.
Right,
You know, we
right,
make those
right.
analogies.
He
must
works.
take
what I'm
care
saying?
of him.
Exactly. So what time has taught me is, as I have evolved, I understood there's man and there's woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood some of those relationships are bigger than what we physically see.
Mhm.
That dependence they needed on each other, emotionally, the
Correct.
dependence that they needed for each other, mentally,
Mhm.
and so forth. So what I've learned is, and let's go back to your question, and it's gonna help with the safe space.
Mhm.
Your question: how do we decide a side chick from a this chick from that? First of all, you got to identify with a woman.
Right.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Side chick, no chick, broke chick, black chick, fat chick, whatever it is,
Mhm.
that's a woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the most courageous quote I seen is from Bob Marley. The most cowardice person is a person that awakens
Ooh.
love and do nothing with it.
Yes, has no intentions.
I'm gonna say that again.
Say
The
it
most
now.
Cowardice man is a man that awakens a woman love and have no intentions on doing nothing with it. And
That's
when
right.
I read that, it just took a while to sink in,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that helped me not identify with a woman for her physical appearance,
Mm-hmm.
but identify with a woman for the need that God created for man and woman.
Now we cooking with grease.
You see, but it took me a
We're
long
cooking
time
now.
to get
Yes,
there.
yes,
So I
yes.
don't make that assessment no more. And if you do that and you sit down and you transparent enough with that woman and you make her understand what your intentions are and your actions is
Hallelujah.
followed up by those words,
Yes.
then that woman has to recognize that she needs to create that safe space.
Let me address any person that is on anybody's live that you can hear. If you guys would like to see the entire panel, everybody that is speaking, please go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, DISCO100 Radio. Let's go ahead and do that right now. You guys don't want to miss the remaining 5 parts of this series. It's only going to heat up even more. So I see that we have people that are commenting on the live, and y'all, you want to see the handsome brothers? I hear you, my sister. If you want to see all this chocolate and all this stuff that I'm sitting up in here with, I'm gonna need you to go to
And they're all
YouTube.
single too.
But I want to make sure something is not missed though. She asked the question, how do women create that safe place? And he answered it perfectly. It's when he makes the attempt. It's how
channel.
you initially respond
On that live.
is going to determine on whether or not he continues to feel comfortable being vulnerable with you.
Okay.
That was a perfect answer.
Okay.
It's the truth. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
you can't get
That's
away
how you
from
that's
the
how you
truth
create that
because
space. It's
if-
how you respond when he gives it to you the first time.
Okay. So how you respond, the way that he presents it to you the first time, ladies, how you respond will determine whether or not if he feels comfortable enough to continue being vulnerable with you.
Correct.
Because you're
Okay.
teaching
You gotta
teaching him
understand.
something in those are what they call teachable moments.
teachable moments. But you also got to
I
understand,
definitely agree.
by him being vulnerable to you, gives you trust. Gives you trust.
That's
to
saying
the-
a lot for
to
him.
the-
It's saying a lot
That says
for
a
a
lot.
man to do that.
For
Yes,
a man
sir.
to trust you,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Right.
Because we're not so do you say, bred to trust very easy.
Right.
So when you betray that trust, it's broken. It's hard to reattain it. Very hard. Because
Facts.
he's gonna look at you. Now, a lot of men not gonna tell you,
Tell us, brother.
but a man can put you in a masculine frame. You understand? So if a man sees you in a masculine frame and he's one of those types of men, see you as a man.
It
No,
becomes
no, just
competition.
comment.
We talking about the
Because
alpha
that's-
females out there.
We talking about
It
relationships.
becomes
Yeah, do
you're
it
a
again.
man to him. Your whole personality and your persona becomes like, even though you got cursing on him, even though you got breasts, buttocks, but your general energy comes off to him as masculine. If he's not,
I think that's my problem.
No, that's not your problem.
Yeah, I really think that men like really put me in like they homeboy kind of.
That's not what he's saying.
Stop.
No. But
Stop.
he's no. I understand what you're saying. If a man starts to view you because of your like, a lot of men have complained about that. Like a lot of women give off a lot of masculine energy. Is that what you're saying about the masculine energy? And I'm saying that I think that is what my problem is.
But you become competition.
Hold
and
on.
not-
Go ahead. I'm gonna say this. Usually, if a man says that, he's probably referring to the fact that you're aggressive in the way that you talk to him.
Okay.
If I had to just walk out of here giving one piece of advice, ladies, watch how you talk to these brothers.
Okay.
Watch how you talk to these
You
brothers.
can make them feel less than a
so,
man.
so I think this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So remember how I said one of the things that I was bringing to the table was everybody is broken.
Mm-hmm.
So what he was saying is, I'm broken, and I come to you, and you respond in a specific way that's not nurturing to what the message that I'm trying to convey. So you take a shattered glass and you shatter it more. Now, I don't want my glass to continue to be shattered.
Yeah.
So now I look at you as competition. Not meaning I look at you as an aggressive, meaning I'm going to fight you to regain the dominance of this situation, because if I don't, you're going to shatter me some more.
Now let me.
So now we're in a fight instead of a partnership.
Okay,
Don't
let me
emasculate
let me interject two things right there. The first thing is we talking about a whole lot of what a man needs. So when we start talking about what we need,
Right.
We gonna be
Right.
receptive.
please
Right,
do,
right,
please
right.
do.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that's the first
for
thing.
the record.
Go
We
ahead
know,
for the record.
and I don't want to curse. Did I say that?
Go ahead.
Okay. For the record, right? We know there's a fucked up pool of options for y'all.
Come on, brother.
We know that.
Oh Lord.
It's rough for y'all.
Jesus.
It's rough for
Piecing them
y'all.
together.
Preach,
So,
boy, preach.
We going.
I need a
we
rag
are-
like a
we-
deacon.
Shut her mic
We
off.
are going to
hard.
be
It's hard.
receptive.
I need a deacon
We're
rag.
going to be receptive, but in
I'm
the
gonna challenge
process
I'm glad
of
he know.
reception,
I'm gonna challenge that.
we ain't gonna take off the table that we need to be nurtured too.
Okay.
We need to be understood too.
Okay.
And our feelings matter. We ain't gonna take that off the table.
Oh no, I don't want you to.
Okay, hold on.
Even though
Go
you made
ahead.
me forget my
I'm gonna ask
second
y'all a
thing.
question. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No, he made me forget. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so
Go
so
ahead, real
we always talk about the lack of available quality brothers out there.
Oh God.
Hold on, I'm just asking a question. What makes y'all think, and why do we assume that there's a large amount of quality sisters out there?
We don't.
Like, oh, thank you. But then we good.
I know I'm one of a kind.
We hurting for options just like y'all.
I know I'm
We
one of a
hurting for good
kind.
options just like y'all. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
We
I
good.
I can't speak for me because I'm off the market, but I will
Okay.
say that there are a lot of women, a lot of good quality women out here.
What makes you
I'm
good
not gonna
quality?
say a
What
lot.
makes you good
I'm
quality? Hold
going
on.
to
What
say
makes you
that
good
because I
quality?
know a few.
Well, okay, what makes you
define
good quality?
That
Yeah, that's what. That's what I
I'm
want.
getting ready to.
Go ahead. That's what I want to do.
Listen, I'm gonna get ready.
Okay.
Define it now.
When I'm gonna define it.
Okay.
I'm gonna define it. When I say good quality, they got their head on their shoulder. They have a good career. Okay. They know what they want. Okay.
Don't find
It does.
Can we
Now,
take career
let me-
off the
let me-
table? Take career off the table.
No.
Take career off the table.
Wait,
Take
wait.
career off the
Take
table.
career off.
Let me
But they know
interject
what
right
they
here.
want. They
Let me-
know what they
You
want.
gotta take head off the shoulder.
Anisha,
You gotta take both of them.
sister, and Miss Kim, and all the ladies that are watching. I hate to be the bearer of bad news,
Speak on it.
but what we consider as a good woman and the qualities that we think we bring into the table, the men don't think so.
Speak on
And
it.
that's bull.
Speak
No, no,
on
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
it.
We
No,
had
it's not.
this.
No, it's
We
not.
had this conversation prior.
Yeah, and that's
And
bull.
and we did an exercise. And if you guys want to do the exercise right now, we could do it.
We want to know.
And so how the exercise goes is the ladies tell us what you think is a good woman and the qualities that men look for. And I will vouch for the guys on this one to say that y'all are probably going to be wrong.
Okay, well,
Thank
I
you.
want to give it to you.
You know, we friends now.
Go on, give it to
We
him.
friends.
I told you, I'm not biased now.
I want to give it to you. Okay. For me, okay, what I think good qualities of women are for men is somebody that definitely knows what she wants. Okay. That's number one. She knows what she wants. Okay. She's not just coming in to play games. She knows that she wants a relationship. She wants to be faithful. She wants to be honest. She wants to be vulnerable to her man. Okay. She wants to support him. Okay. That's what I believe. Not only that, and don't look at me like that.
Oh yeah, because I can't. Let's get it.
Don't
Let's
look
get
at me
it.
like you looking too serious.
Yeah, let's get it.
She's starting out good now. She's doing
Listen,
pretty good.
listen, I know what I'm talking about now.
all right.
Don't
Okay.
talk, sis.
I know what I'm talking about. So listen. Okay. Besides that, okay, they have everything going for themselves. Okay. They got a good job.
Oh
that
God,
off
you
the
done,
table.
you done, you
But
done,
no.
you done train wreck me, sis. You done train wreck me,
I'm
sis.
sorry. I'm sorry. But let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. They own their own home.
You train wreck me.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to steer you
Okay,
back.
well, y'all want somebody that.
How are they gonna treat us?
Okay.
Period.
Thank you.
Fuck
Thank
all
you.
that.
Because the only. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Let
Go
me
ahead. Go ahead.
get
Go
there.
ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
get there. Y'all, listen, I gotta add all this.
Okay, go ahead,
I
add
gotta
it.
add all this.
That's fair.
Okay. And they know how to, what's the word I'm looking for? Get to me. Be submissive to their man.
Yeah, okay, that's the best
Yeah.
one you said.
What
That
does
Oh,
know
oh.
how to be
That's the best.
submissive.
Y'all give her
to
a
their
hand. That's the
man.
best
Okay.
one she done said. all
Okay,
what does
okay.
submission mean?
What the suspend?
I think we need to
What
break
is
that
it?
down. because a
Wait,
lot of
that's
people
another
don't
show.
know.
We ain't talking about it. We ain't talking about
I'm gonna
it.
give you my
Okay.
take. Let me give you my
Okay,
take on
and then I'm
submissive.
gonna just say one thing
Being
after you.
submissive
Go ahead.
is listening to their man. You know, being there, being that listening shoulder for their man. You know, when he comes home from a hard day of work, just being there to listen. You know, calling him or texting him throughout the day, letting him know you think about
See, now
him.
we talking.
Not to nag him or bother him, but just to say, hey,
Good evening,
babe, I hope
guys.
you're having a good day.
Not yet. Now,
I'm
now
a
you
friend now.
turn her microphone up. You turn her
So,
microphone up.
But it took me a while to get to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you'd have met me.
I got somebody on my live that's what I'm about to say. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that word submissive,
Yeah.
Fighting
women
words.
hate.
Yeah.
But I define submission in one word, and it's respect.
Okay, so for all the ladies that's listening,
Good.
if you think your career, if you think your degree, if you think your house, if you think your bed makes you a suitable mate, you don't know the definition of a suitable mate. Let me just put that on the table.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
not to a real man, because a real man can pay his own bills. So that's
come on,
irrelevant.
brother.
A real man got his own educational training, so take that off the table.
Preach
A real man provides himself a house, a home, and a car, so take that off the table.
Yeah.
What are you bringing to me as a partner and to help me? When you define that, then you can come to me and talk to me about you a good woman.
And other than WAP too. Other than
Other than
WAP.
WAP. Especially shared WAP. Especially shared WAP. Hand me down WAP. Used WAP. Second hand WAP. For sale WAP.
Don't take that mic for him. Don't take that mic for him. Around the corner, you're talking about what?
My homeboys WAP. Okay. Community WAP.
That don't count. I just want y'all to know it don't count.
WAP that's been whoppity wop.
We might entertain it for a little while.
Right,
but we don't
right,
wanna-
Let me just say this. So you say take the house, the car,
Take that off the
the
table.
dog.
Yeah. Take that off. Take him
I'm
off the
gonna
table.
give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you in one word. And see, when they talk about submissiveness and to love, to honor, obey, and all that crazy stuff, it's submissiveness only comes down to one thing: agreeability.
There we go. Cooperation. There we go. Speak.
That's it. That's all it is to be submissive, is to agree with someone.
That's
If
it.
you and your, that's it.
Middle ground.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
just
it.
want the
Well,
woman
that-
to agree.
Yeah, but
Cooperation.
that's conveying the wrong message.
Yeah,
That's-
it
listen,
is.
it's middle
You're
ground.
saying compromise more so.
That's
Yeah.
Relationships are compromised. So
But
you
it's
For
but
nothing.
when you listen,
For
look,
nothing.
we have people that don't understand at the same. So I understand what you mean when you say agreeability. Like, don't just just don't be a nag. Don't just,
Right.
disagree with everything.
Right.
Like, let's sit down to the table. Let's come
Right.
to a compromise. Let's
Right.
have a conversation. Some things gonna go your way. Some things gonna go my way. I get that. But for some people, when you have women that, they really misunderstand the word submission.
Yeah.
Then they would misunderstand you saying agreeability as to I need to agree with everything that you say.
No,
Control.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
So
let's define
this is
it.
the catch with mediation, agreeability, all those verbs we just used, right? There's a 5-degree separation between successful and unsuccessful people. It's one word. What is it? Implementation. So we can sit here, we can discuss, we can agree, we can come to a resolution, but if it's not implemented, it was all for nothing. You really didn't communicate.
Right.
And that's true. That's true. You definitely have to implement it in your life
You
if
got
you
to
want
implement it.
things to change.
You got
Right.
to implement.
You do.
Well, let's just make sure you using that same implementation when we talking about the behaviors of black men. So just understand that implementation.
Say again, what happened? What?
Yeah, you heard it. You heard it.
Implementation. That's
Yeah,
really important.
we need to implement. We need to do that in all areas, though.
I agree.
Yeah, because I'm gonna just tell y'all, because I'm really, I don't really want to hear no more about the excuses and it was my mama and it was Charlie. You know what that sound like? You know how the kid come to school and say my dog ate my homework.
Right.
Well, the teacher don't care.
Right.
You gonna get an F,
Right.
just straight up.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Taking
So
accountability.
so we listen. If let's just be real, like all jokes aside, and I understand that black men go through a lot in society. A lot of black women, the average black woman does not understand the system that has been created to oppress the black man.
Facts.
I will say that hands down. I will not argue that with nobody. You understand what I'm saying? However, the problem comes this back to my point that you interrupted me on, is that when we are creating these safe places, and like what you said, when we meet people that are not there yet, do we just put them like, oh no, he friend zone, because he got some issues.
Somebody
When
said
we
sound like
do,
LaShawn Taylor.
when we do take I'm gonna say opportunity instead of a risk, because I don't want y'all to sound like liabilities. So I'm gonna say when we do take the opportunity to be there, it is definitely a risk. What we need, and this is another part of the show that the women are going to have this conversation about what we need from you guys.
Right.
But you can't expect a woman to take this risk or opportunity to help you if you're going to turn around and hurt her.
Right.
So now the place that she's trying to uplift you to, that low place,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? She finds herself there.
Right. Right.
So
Agreed.
that
You have
is
to
the
acknowledge
issue.
that. That's facts.
Right.
Yeah,
You have to
so
acknowledge that.
that's the issue that we're having as women.
Right.
Like, we're not saying we don't want to support you guys.
Right.
We're not saying we don't want to be a safe place.
Right.
We are afraid because in the
No, go ahead, finish.
in the the times that we have been that, it hasn't turned out good for us.
Right.
And so that's what I'm saying. The perpetual cycle. If you don't have a woman that's like myself that says, you know what, this guy hurt me, but I'm not. I listened to Did y'all listen to the song that I posted in Miami to Atlanta yesterday? I posted. It's by Jasmine Sullivan, and it says "Girls Like Me," and the song is talking about she was there for this guy. Basically the sentiment of the song is, why are whores winning, basically?
That's true.
Like, the whores are winning. This is the perception that men are giving. This is the perception that we have.
I can agree.
You know what I'm saying? And so I say all that to say, when we are putting ourselves out there, it takes a strong woman to not become what they think men are catering to.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
That's good.
I kind of want to hear them. I kind of want to hear the women. Y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with that?
But
I do
What you
agree with that,
just
and
said?
I have
Okay.
said that on a numerous that most men will rather. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
No, speak on it.
speak on.
But some men will, and this is just a product from where, in my environment, from where I came from, some men will settle when you have this woman here that is ready to be submissive, like y'all say. Y'all will settle because y'all afraid. Y'all afraid of not having control.
We do the same thing.
Yeah, we do.
We do the same thing.
Wait. I don't think I do that.
Hold on, no, we're not. But I agree with what you're saying. There
But
are a
you
lot
feel
of men.
that-
There are a lot of men who will choose the low hanging fruit because they know they're
You
not
said it
equipped to
better
deal
than
with
me.
the real woman.
Wait a minute now.
I'll
Said it
admit.
better.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't gonna say nothing now. Hold on. Hold on.
Some men do that.
Hold on. I
Some
wasn't
men
gonna
do
say
that.
nothing. It's a lot of women right now that I hate to say this, they rather have a man without shit
Nah, I agree with that too.
because they can control his ass.
Too.
I don't.
There's a lot of women out there right now would deal with a little boy versus the man because they're scared of a man.
Right. Now I agree with
That's
that.
out there now.
Because it goes both ways. It goes
Or
both
it's
ways.
just about money. So you got to understand, like I said before, one of the biggest things there is, and the problem is monetizing your relationship. So you only going for a man because he got money
No.
Or the parents of.
or the appearance of.
Woo, say it.
Okay.
So guess what? The value of the man doesn't even have anything to do with actual currency. It has something to do with paper.
Right.
So you got to understand. So when that woman is in that relationship just based off of how much money this man has, money can be
And
gone
it happens a lot.
tomorrow.
And that's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That
Yeah,
happens
that
a
is
lot.
definitely
Happens a lot.
true.
Facts.
I
Facts.
agree.
That's true.
Guess what? But the man that would have put himself out there for you, the man that would have took his shirt off to you.
That blue collar.
We talked about this.
We did, and I'm gonna
We did
interject
talk
right here.
about this.
Now,
We talked
now that
about
we
this.
talking about the women, now that we talking about the
We're
women,
on the women now.
okay, we on the women now.
Yeah.
We on the
See,
women.
this is the part where y'all come in and say, "But that's what society taught us. That's what my daddy taught us. That's what I saw. That's what."
She put that back on
No.
They do.
You're
And
being
that's their defense.
presumptuous. You got to give.
Oh,
us a
now I'm being
pose it
presumptuous.
and then let us respond.
Oh Lord,
Okay,
help me,
pose it,
Jesus.
pose it.
Where,
What
where
you
my
talking
deacon
about?
towel at?
But I will say some women, I'm not going to blame it all on men. I will say some women do choose men based off if they can control them or not. I'm not
That's
one.
crazy.
I'm not
It
one.
happens.
I'm not one.
Yeah, me either.
I'd rather have a man we can sit to the table together. Okay?
I want to be controlled.
You want to be controlled?
All right
I
now.
want to sit to the table. I don't want to
What time this show
control.
over? What time this show over?
Control him, and I don't want him to control me. Because we're
Right.
both adults. I
Y'all-
want
my
us to
mama
come
watching
together
y'all.
as
I'ma
a
be
team.
nice.
Oh, okay. I want us to come together as a team. But I will admit that you do have some women that like to control me. I will admit that because it is happening. I'm not gonna sit up there and have a blind eye to it's not happening.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I got a term used I call hub sons. It's a lot of men.
I like that.
It's a lot of men. It's a lot of men that been raised by their mama so long they used to a mama. So a woman can recognize that. So she know if she got the more power, more loot, more going on for herself, she gonna run him. She gonna run him because it's
Go run
space.
him. Exactly.
Exactly.
Now, see,
Facts.
my issue and my concern and I really lack understanding for that
Yeah, me
because
too.
I don't
I want a
understand
hug, son.
what I don't want.
don't want a
no,
hug,
yeah, I don't want no variation of that. I don't want to control. I don't want to control anybody. If
At
I could be
all.
honest,
At all.
I don't. Why would I want a man
That you can control.
that's an insecure issue? So that goes back to some of the problems that we were talking about. Because if you want to control a man, then you got some insecurity issues.
Inside.
And I'm gonna tell y'all this: a lot of people. It goes back to what Guy was talking about, and you guys can look this up. This is true. Well, we got a counselor, here that's sitting with us, so he can vouch for this. But a lot of people that have those control issues were people that were molested.
You want to go first? You want a professional?
Okay, I want to make it.
Yes, both. Because what happens is when you're molested, you feel like somebody took your
Dominated
power.
you,
Yeah,
right.
they dominated you. And so you go through life, saying nobody will ever do this to me again. And I don't think that it's always conscious. You know, some people are very overprotective of their space or their children. You know what I'm saying? They have to control the whole. Yeah, it has to be a.
even woman that beat
Hold on, I want to clarify something.
beat on so bad.
And rape.
Well, I'm about to say physical domestic violence is like that as well.
Right.
Domestic
Any
violence.
kind of yeah.
And sometimes you don't have to necessarily be the recipient. Sometimes you could be the observer.
Right,
or
like
the
a
voyeur of that.
codependent.
Right. Watch like Chris Brown. Watch his mom get abused.
Correct.
And then therefore he became an abuser later on as well. So
Yes.
I don't want us to, victimize everybody.
Right.
Or first-hand
Right.
victimize, but
Right.
be second-hand
Correct.
victimized as well by growing up in that environment.
So let's define it. So this is just my personal observation. So if you've been sexually molested, physically abused, or raped,
Or witnessed it.
or witnessed it, you become defensive
Some people.
in life,
Correct.
right?
Some.
And they protect that. And this is one of the most, and you as a professional can relate to this. I'm hoping. When that happens, you lose the value of your body.
In your head, you do.
You do.
Yeah.
And when you
You
do
do.
that,
You
you lose that sanctity that your body once had or you felt because it's been violated. So what happens is it puts a strain on every relationship because now every man, especially if he reminds you of your victimizer, right? You become defensive with him.
And let me
There
tell
will
you,
always be a barrier between you and him.
and it doesn't
And
take
that
much.
is one of the things that's destroying Black relationships.
Yeah.
Right. But I want to, that's a large contributor, but I want to just generically just group it all together. Childhood trauma in general that goes untreated, and then it becomes adult trauma, and then then we have children. When we bring children, then we have this generational curse, and we teach them how to victimize people as well.
Correct.
They say hurt people,
Right.
but hurt people also teach people how to hurt people.
That's
Correct.
true too.
So when I start off saying that childhood development, that 0 to 18, we have to. I think one of the questions you have to ask people when you're dating them is you have to ask them, what process have you gone through to deal with the issues that you're bringing
Right.
into our situation? Because if we're going to agree that everybody's broken,
Right.
that's fine. I knew that before you told me.
Right.
I want to know, how did you deal with that brokenness?
Right.
If they don't have an answer for that, that's a problem.
Absolutely.
And one of the things, we need to learn how to ask questions during the dating process.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna be
that's
honest
it.
with you.
That's it.
I remember when I first got to Atlanta, one time TGI Fridays, Mount Zion. That's where all my first dates took place.
God.
Get that cedar salmon. But I would always pay attention to the type of questions if they ask any at all. And I'm gonna say this: the average Black woman, either she don't ask no questions, or she doesn't know the proper questions to ask. I'm like, can you ask me something besides my degree? Can you ask me something about how much money I make and what I drive? Ask me about my belief system. Ask me about my mental health.
Right.
Ask me what I've gone through in my childhood. Ask me about my relationship history. I don't want to know about his ex. You should want to know about his ex, because how he treated her, you could probably.
they ain't gonna be
'cause
honest about
no,
that.
no, but you know what? But you could look for inconsistencies in their answer. So if what you told me doesn't match your behavior,
That's right.
That's an indication. So I'm cool if you lied.
Right.
But now I have something to hold you to. You
Right.
gave me your word.
Right.
But I'm gonna just say this: we have to start encouraging each other to deal with our issues, and we need to also stop making the Black church the biggest mental health facility in the Black community.
And Mr. H, let me just say something, and I agree with you on that, because when I started dating, those were some of the questions I asked. In your last relationship, what mistakes did you make?
Correct.
And how did you, what have you done since then to
Correct.
correct those issues?
Correct.
Because I want to make sure you're not bringing it into our
Correct.
situation.
Correct.
So I totally agree with that. I ask the questions. Just like I tell Kim, for job interviews, you know, she was like, well, what kind of questions should I ask? You ask enough questions to know if you want to be there or not.
Correct.
So you ask the
Correct.
same questions in relationships so that you can determine, is this the man for you or not?
Is he husband material?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
don't waste your time.
That's
but a
vice
lot of
versa.
people, you're right. A lot of women don't do that. We so
Don't know how to ask
concerned,
questions.
and I can say this about the women because hey, I've been there. But I just made a decision to change. But we so concerned about what you got, like you say. We
Thank
so
you.
concerned about what you got.
Thank
Oh,
you.
girl, he got it. That's his money.
But
Right.
it's almost in all honesty, it's almost the least important, if I
Yeah,
could be
I
honest,
don't
because
care about that.
as if you know who you are as a woman, like I never check for a man and how much he make because
Right.
I know that I can double that.
Exactly.
So help him and what I'm saying.
Exactly.
I'm saying
I
like
look-
I make it,
You
but
know
I'm
what
saying
I look for potential. That's what I look for. I look for potential. If this man got potential, then we could build something together.
we.
'Cause
But I don't.
know
we're not going with potential.
Well, I look for
I'm not gonna go
Yeah,
with
I'm not gonna
potential.
go with
I- I
potential.
look
Yeah,
for
I'm not going
I
with
know what you
potential.
mean by that. I know what you
You know
mean
what
by
I mean
that.
by
I
that.
don't do that anymore.
I don't know what
You
they
look for
mean.
the effort he's currently putting
Not an
forth that
effort.
could potentially lead somewhere.
I'm not effort.
No
I look
effort?
at what they got going. Okay, let me say not what they got going on. What kind of what they got going on in their life and where I see
Are they
them
working
in
their
the
plan?
next
Are
5
they-
years.
right,
Where
right,
can I
got
see
you.
them in the next 5 years? I
Got
can
you.
see them doing something great that it can incorporate myself in because I know what I bring. I need to know what he gonna bring within that next 5 years.
Correct.
Mhm.
I can dig it.
You know, so that's why I say potential.
That's
Right.
why. What would you say the statistics are that doesn't happen, where a woman takes and evaluate the man's potential for greatness?
I would
prior
say
to
it's
her
happening.
just, like he said,
Yeah.
getting to the questions out before you actually jump in the bed.
It's let me tell you something. It's not happening because I've had this conversation before. It's not happening. A lot of women they jump in head first, and then because see a lot of us, and I'm gonna just speak this. A lot of us we see the signs. We see signs, bad signs, but we ignore them.
Yep, especially
And
for the guy you
yeah,
want.
we ignore them because we
think-
want to be there. And then when we get in, now we got all these complaints. But you seen the signs, sis.
Right.
I know you see the signs. Hell, I didn't see the signs.
And I definitely agree. We do see the signs.
see the
I think a lot of the times those questions are not being asked simply because a lot of women do not know what they want.
Bam.
I think that's what it is.
They
Because
love that.
I actually
Of course.
Tear her up.
I had to mature. I had to get to you got to go through life. You got to go through experiences. You got to go through a lot in life, in relationships, in order to be able to be like, you know what, I'm going to change this. I'm not going to do this anymore. Or to know, you know what, this is what I don't want in a relationship, or this is what I do want in a relationship. So I think those questions are not being asked, vice versa, a man as well.
But I think we need to build a community to where we're getting our children and our grandchildren away from having to go through all this trauma and drama
Definitely.
in order to, all this kissing all these frogs before you get to a prince.
Right.
I don't want to kiss
That's the
none
process.
other. No,
That's the
no,
process.
no,
That's
no,
the process.
So do you
It's
think
not.
you should date,
You can't skip
date
the
around?
process.
But why is that the
I don't
process
think
for
that's
Black
the process.
America
I don't think that's the
only?
process.
That's the process for humanity.
No, it's not. It's
no,
not.
That's just
It's
the
not.
first time I disagree with him all night.
It's not.
First time
it's
I
not.
disagree with him
It's
all
not.
That's not the process.
No, absolutely
So
not.
wait.
That's the dysfunctional process.
Okay,
Correct.
So let's define dating. before we
Correct,
go there.
yeah. Okay.
Let's define dating. A date is if me, and I hate to use this as an analogy because I try to downplay this as much as possible. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that.
I brought you
a
something to
date,
eat.
a date is if you and I meet somewhere and we sit down and we have an intellectual conversation. If we decided, hey, at this time we're gonna meet with one another, whether it be dinner, drinks, movie, or
Coffee.
just at the park, Starbucks, anything.
Yeah.
That's a date.
That
It
is.
is.
So through that process, you can begin to make a determination on where you want to apply this energy.
I like Home
And
Depot.
Date.
And stop going to the movies. Stop going to places where you
It's
cannot
noisy.
talk.
Exactly.
Correct.
You
Bam.
can't
Correct.
communicate
Bam.
in
Correct.
those
Facts.
type of
So, that's the
settings.
thing. So
Facts.
you can
Correct.
date, and then you ain't gotta literally kiss the frog, but you can see the frog, touch the frog, talk to the frog.
Yeah.
And from that, you can make a better determination. But if you think you're just gonna not date and
No.
wait, and then that right person come and you're gonna date and all things fall in place, that's never gonna happen.
Okay, I think the
No.
problem is when we said the process and she said kissing the frog, it wasn't the pretty picture you just painted.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So I reconstructed
I
that.
did, yeah, I did.
Okay,
That's not
okay,
what
okay.
most people
I
experience.
could go to eat every day of the week if that's all we doing.
Sound good, but
Like,
But
take me out to eat. Don't call me back. That's cool. Ain't no pressure.
That's the reality of the dating process.
Yeah.
Now, some people try not to define it that way. They
Yeah.
define it smash. You know, I was dating her.
Well, even before
But
it gets to the
that's-
whole
but
smashing
you know
thing.
what? At our age, I can't assume you guys' age. I can assume my age. But at my age,
He's
you
so
know,
full of crap.
smashing, I'm a little
probably the
behind.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm a little
Okay.
behind smashing as the defining moment of dating. I am on the other side of that. I've done what I needed to do, so there's no more questions I have. So if I get in your space for that time, because you occupying my time. That's how I feel. Like, yeah, you consuming my time because I could be doing something else.
That's
besides,
true.
You know, wasting my intellect. Remember, I tried that out when I first came out of school.
Right.
And I
That
failed
works with the
miserably.
right women.
Epically, I failed. So you wasting my time. So smashing isn't the ultimate goal no more. It's just mentally connecting with a person. That's the ultimate goal. I think smashing is just cherry on top.
It is.
So I'm beyond it. Just me. I'm beyond the smashing part.
So
Just me.
it's safe to say that women and men, when we're out here dating, we need to ask the necessary questions.
Correct.
Right.
And then that way we could, weed through a lot of
Correct.
the ugly ducklings and the
Correct.
frogs and stuff like that. We could weed through it because just like
That's
a job,
true.
and I have to go back to this because
Exactly.
if you ask the necessary question, then
You'll have some insight.
you'll definitely have some
You'll have
insight.
some-
Get
So you
better
have to
candidates.
treat it like a
Get
job
better
interview.
candidates. You do.
Unless the
You do.
man, unless
You
y'all,
do.
like you say, unless the man has put a mask up.
You can see through that. You know y'all can see
Well,
through
I
that.
want to give the ladies.
Hold on, wait. Can you see through the mask?
Some people are.
Some-
Oh,
some people
listen.
Some people.
Listen, can you see through the mask?
Some people.
Listen, let me go back to
I
Anitra.
have yet not to be able to see through the mask.
Listen, let me let the men in on something. I'm gonna let the women up on
Okay.
something first. But back to what Anitra was saying, like, listen, guys, y'all could be honest. Y'all ain't gotta lie,
Right.
Cause we really already be knowing. But when we like a man,
Right.
and what she was talking about, we ignore things,
Yes, we do.
and it does come back to haunt us
Yes,
and
it
bite
does.
us.
Yeah.
But when we like a man, we see BS from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, we not as dumb as men think we are. And that's what hurts us the most, is because we put ourselves out there and become vulnerable.
Right.
Knowing what we see,
Right.
knowing what we are, kind of know.
Right.
So how do
You
you
know.
define a woman that falls and go down that path when she know that's a path that she shouldn't be on and she go down it anyway?
Because
How you define that?
women have hard heads in this area of dating, because we believe he's going to change.
Okay, and then how do you
Right.
define? So what do you define? Give me a word to define it.
Word to define what?
The woman
The
that
woman that walked down that path knowing,
Naive.
all the
knowing
women
that
shouldn't
he,
be on that
he
path.
shouldn't have walked down.
That's
that
what
path.
it's called, stupidity,
Yeah,
especially if she done did it
that's just
50
call
times.
Call it what it is. Now.
But we are
It's
operating
called being clouded.
correct.
I think it's called. I think it's called picking your battles. See, because we all gonna come with something. So what y'all think is not there or shouldn't be there for some woman, she making deal with that. You can't.
Correct. I agree.
So
That's true.
so her walking the aisle because he can't keep a job. That's her prerogative. He may be doing everything else right.
Correct.
That's true.
So I my word for that is she picking her battles.
And I agree with that. And I
dig it.
I definitely agree with that. The problem I think that women have is that when picking that battle, end up beating her.
Right.
Like not physically,
told her that.
but right. That's what I think the problem is. So
Mentally,
I think that it goes back to some of the things that we talked about, is being honest,
Right.
being open, being transparent,
Right.
Going into it knowing what I want. I'm
Right.
not looking for marriage, or
Right.
I am looking for
Looking
marriage.
right, being
Some
right.
women are men think every woman just want a ring.
Right.
That is
this
easy.
day and
Right.
age.
Like if we
In
want
today's
to just
society,
be
I'm
married,
I'm glad you
Ma-
brought
Matter of
can do
fact,
that.
every Valentine's they got them $99 special. Everybody
and
get there on
I don't
Facebook.
want
Yes,
it.
Pepper.
And I don't want it.
Everybody going to
I don't
jail.
want it.
So wait a minute. Did I just hear that every woman not looking for a ring?
No.
No, not
Every
every
woman is not looking for a ring.
Not
At
every
all.
woman.
So what's the dating purpose?
Well, I'm looking for connection.
Yeah.
So that's the purpose that you begin to date is to connect.
Or friendship.
No, she
Or
said
friendship.
no,
That's
boss
why you
man,
date for friendship.
Mr. Free. She's saying that everybody, but she said that every woman looking for like pretty much more than a ring. It's not just what's on the finger, what's gonna come with it.
Right.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
like
okay,
every
okay, that
woman
sounds
is
better. That
listen
sounds better.
Because
listen,
anybody
of
can get
course,
the ring.
of course, marriage is the goal.
Anybody can get
but
Some women.
but you have some women that if they could make a phone call today and be married tomorrow. So if it was just about having a husband, that's easy.
Right.
Been
For
married
a
long
lot of
time ago.
women.
Right.
You know, right. You know,
think about that.
no. It's real. It's real. If we just wanted to say my husband, we could do that. But for most women, yep. But for most women of substance,
They get the matching shirts
by
and all
the
that
way,
shit on
this is
Facebook.
controlled substance.
For the
They get
gram.
matching shirts and
And
matching
unhappy.
hats and be
Right.
divorced
For the
a
gram.
month later.
Correct. For most women with substance, they are looking for connection,
Right.
stability,
Right.
those type of things. So just a ring does not necessarily. We have good enough sense to know, yeah, he gonna marry you, but then what?
What comes with
What
that?
comes with that?
Right.
Right. So it is not just about a ring. We don't just want to be married.
Right.
If that's the case, I could have stayed married to my ex-husband. Hell,
That's so true.
Right.
I ain't saying it was. I'm not saying he bad, but I'm just saying if I just wanted a
It's just-
husband,
that's why-
I could have stayed married.
That's why when you come into these dating situations, you find out what each other want. Okay,
Right.
you want to be married. I don't want to be married.
Goes back to
So
question.
maybe this ain't right for us. Then you
Right,
move on.
right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, okay, well, you just looking for a relationship. Well, I'm looking for marriage, you know, on either side. Like, you need to ask the necessary questions so that you're not wasting each other's time and you move on.
Now, the only way this works, it goes back to the conversation that we were having about men being honest
And
and
women being
accountable
honest.
and taking that whole thing for a quest. Like if you meet a woman and she says she's looking for marriage and you know that this is just another quest that you're trying to add,
Right.
leave that
her
woman alone.
Right.
Because it's a lot of women out
Listen,
here that's
listen,
looking
you
at
know how many women you tell the truth to when I
Yes.
was single, and they are so stubborn they think they can change you.
I was about to
So
say
they
that.
take the truth
That's exactly.
and they stick around forever because they think they can change you. Then they
Exactly.
super to the
You-
whole world
Uh-oh.
on how this man won this.
You guess what?
Uh-oh.
Then
Guess
what he
what?
want?
I know for a fact that exists. But I'm
Fact.
calling and this is a community call to the men to hold themselves to a higher level of accountability. And when you know this woman wants something different from you,
on.
block her ass
Yes,
and move on.
Move on.
Okay.
Move
Time
on.
out.
Got that out.
I did.
Move on.
No, because I'm really
I can agree with that. I can agree with
at
that.
a place
The needle
to
is-
where I just want to
The
talk
needle is
about.
moving, but we got to bring it back to the middle. So this has to be expected from both parties.
I
agree. I agree. With women.
Hey.
Because you do know some men are a quest for women.
I listen. This is not. We talking about because the conversation we were having earlier about men and conquering a quest, and this quest doesn't necessarily have to be sex. This quest could be money. This quest could be whatever your ulterior motive is outside of what you know this person is looking for.
Right.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
I'm gonna do something.
Right. And I
go
agree.
ahead.
Women, if you know this man don't want to get married and you want to get
Stop
married,
trying to change that.
stop it.
But what
Just
happens?
move on.
Let me tell
Like,
y'all. Well, let me.
you can't change a man.
That's true. But what?
You
Let me
can't.
tell you what happens is
Just
because
can't.
a lot of women work off emotions. Let me tell you that. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens.
Uh-oh.
Now,
Come on, help me out.
what happens a lot of the times is, all right, we gonna keep it real. I'm gonna just call a spade a
100.
spade. The men, I did. The men, you will have some men that are honest and will say, "I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a wife. I don't want anything further right now. I just want to smash."
No, they
I
don't
ain't never
say
heard
that.
that.
They don't
Yeah,
say
I-
that.
no.
That was the language you used.
Let me make my point. They don't come out right away and say I want to smash, but basically that's what it is. They'll just say I want.
Just wanna be friends?
No. What's the word y'all use?
Friends.
Oh, God. Okay, well,
I just
y'all
wanna
get
be
y'all
friends.
get my draft.
Yeah.
My draft.
They just want to be friends.
Basically. And they are doing so much to this woman. They said one thing out of their mouth, but their actions are saying a different thing.
Correct.
You're doing everything that a husband or boyfriend would do, but you're saying that's not what you want.
Right.
So in this woman's mind, she's thinking,
Mixed
maybe
signals.
maybe he does want. Maybe I can be that woman.
So you playing house.
Oh, I got something.
Playing house.
That's
I,
real.
I
That's
can
real.
be
Go
that
ahead.
woman,
Go ahead.
you know,
Teach.
because what he's showing me, that's not what he said out of his mouth. 'Cause He
Rewarding
wouldn't be
the
treating me this
behavior.
way. You know, if he didn't want anything with me, he wouldn't treat me this way.
Nah, he know you ain't going nowhere. 'Cause
Well-
he told you you still doing it. That's why he doing it. That's why he's standing around.
That's
Well,
exactly.
that's why it's called
Yeah.
gullibility.
Exactly.
That's
see,
exactly what it is.
my-
The men just need to keep it real, like you said.
Yeah.
You know that this woman
Oh,
wants
wait a
something
minute.
more. You know the woman wants more. And you keep
I'm
her
a-
there.
Go ahead.
Why shatter the woman like that? Why shatter
you know
her
what?
heart?
So if it walked like a duck, quacked like a duck, it's not a duck.
Okay, so this is my concern. This is my concern with the mindset. No, I'm serious. This is my concern.
Tag.
If we are as women to look to men for guidance
Right.
and look for men for headship and leadership, but then these same men turn around and say, "Don't blame me for what's going wrong," then why are we why would I want to follow a man that's not going to be accountable and responsible? I don't understand. I'm confused.
Now, you know what? Now, one of the few times I'm gonna co-sign what she's saying. She's absolutely correct.
I'm
because,
not. No.
No. Let me tell you why. Let
We
me tell you
finna
why.
put you out.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you why.
Put him out.
One of the biggest complaints in black male America is we say our women won't let us be a man. She's absolutely correct. So if that's a position that we want to reclaim, we cannot reclaim that position without integrity
Correct.
and without re-victimizing our
Correct.
women emotionally and physically, which we do with our behavior. Because I agree
Yes.
with her, they will submit to us, the right ones, if we come in with the right program.
That is
And then once they start submitting, if we take that and exploit it, we then can't turn around and say, why aren't they submitting when we penalize them for doing so.
Right.
We got to stop that.
So-
I'm gonna just say this last part. Black men, we do have to raise the level of our integrity.
That's
I will,
right.
Yes.
I will
That's
co-sign.
always-
I
Yes.
I will co-sign.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Yes.
But no,
Yes.
listen. This is where we fail at, right? So we're gonna go back to where I started in the beginning of the segment, right? Because this is the understanding. Once we define the species that needs to take the helm, right? Everybody has to be accountable.
Oh,
We
so
do.
That's
No doubt.
because I've decided in my life
Mm-hmm.
to not awaken a woman's love and not utilize it.
Right.
Just because I've crossed that threshold, then I'm going to do those things. Now, I may encounter a woman that's just not, in my opinion, worthy of that. So, am I less of a king? Am
If
I
you
less
what?
of a man
If you do
if
what?
I choose not to engage with that woman because
No,
I
you
don't
need to leave
feel
her
as
alone.
if she's
No,
worthy?
you just need to
of
leave
that?
her alone all the
That's
way.
fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
But in the building process, this is what I was alluding to earlier. In the building process, I meet woman. Me and woman connect. The connection that me and woman have is not the level that I want to go to.
Okay.
I still, me, the village, because I was raised by a village, I still do what I can within reason so that it doesn't jeopardize her future opportunities, my future opportunities to help build that woman. That's where I'm at, but that's where I am at because I understand the importance of that part, and I relate that or correlate that to the Quran. There's a section that we were taught Muslims like multiple wives, but we never read it. We was just taught it. But the whole concept behind that is providing for broken homes. Their role wasn't to enjoy the wife. Their role was to provide for families that didn't have a man in the home.
Correct.
So even though I met woman, me and woman didn't connect to that level, I still keep myself in enough space where it don't violate or become a detriment to her further opportunities and my further opportunities. But I still continue to be a part of that nurturing process. So when we say that, that has to be on both sides of the coin.
No,
But
it can't be
go ahead.
because it puts when you a man, that is what he does. And that is what he should be doing anyway.
Right.
He is there to build. He is there to create. He is there to, okay, where's my family going? I have to make a place for them.
Yeah.
Okay. It is not for, see, this is where we as women, we getting a lot of stuff twisted because we too busy trying to be a man and create this space. And I got a house and I got this and I got that. Come on, honey. All you got to have is some good, whatever the opposite of WAP is. And we good.
No.
And then when he drag your ass, you got a problem.
That is crazy.
You understand? So see, for a man to take a woman, and let's be real, in this day and age, her children into his home and under his wing, and he cultivate. That's what men are supposed to do. They're supposed to cultivate. We ain't supposed to cultivate. We're supposed to nurture.
Right.
So that's the problem that we have, and we got this role reversal, and nobody know they place no more. Because I'm a strong believer in gender roles, and I'm a strong believer that me as a woman, even as outspoken as I am, I have a place when it comes down to a man.
Yes.
I agree with that, but that's not what I'm
Yes.
speaking to.
Shut the mics off.
No,
We can
I
roll.
agree.
Roll the credits.
I agree with what she's saying, but that's not what I'm speaking to.
Okay.
That's not what I'm speaking to. What I was speaking to is what he's saying and how it's been, the perception on the table is that responsibility is the man. No, that's
It is.
our responsibility.
Well-
And if we shift it to us, then we have to give credit to our perceptions, our upbringing, and the different things that cultivated us into the way we are.
And
But
and
every
what and I
operation has to
understand
have a
that.
leader, though.
Correct.
Every
And that's what I'm
operation has to
saying.
But
have
it's
a
not
leader.
Although-
still solely our responsibility. If we keep
There are
doing
some
that,
things that is solely the
Yeah.
responsibility of the man, like it's some things that are solely the responsibility of the woman.
I totally disagree.
It is.
If we
In
keep
today's
asking-
society,
We don't. No.
society has changed. Society has changed.
What?
We
What?
can't
The
acknowledge
cost of living? That's all.
No.
That's all. Ain't nothing else in
Listen,
society
so-
changed
so
other
we're
than the
not-
cost of living.
We're not going to acknowledge that today in society, women are just as successful professionally
Absolutely.
as men.
That's the part of the damn problem.
Hold on.
That's the part of the problem.
We can't play like it don't
But y'all
exist.
want to be though, Sean.
Wait,
No, we
Y'all
don't.
wanna be.
No.
Hold on,
No.
Sean, let me get away
I
from
don't
this.
think that should
Go
In
ahead.
raising a family, right? You still need a nurturer. You still need a provider, protector, right? But if the woman makes more money, she's spending more time away from the home. Who literally becomes the nurturer?
But this is what I'm telling you. This is the problem that we have, because we are trying to role reverse, but then we have the same expectations. You're supposed to be a man, but then I want to reverse the role with you at the same time. Hell, you're confused.
You do
I'm
know.
confused.
You do know. In every home, it varies on who plays what role
It-
in every home.
Listen,
you do know that, right?
Listen, and what I'm telling you
You do
is
know that.
that is a part of the problem where white America, white supremacy, let's go ahead and dig on to it,
Okay,
have placed black women in these positions to make more money than men so that
That is
they
correct.
can take this leadership role, because you have a lot of black women that think because I make most money, that makes me head of household. And sis, I'm here to tell you that don't make you head of household.
You know what's so bad? You know what's so sad about that?
Wait, give me a solution. Tell me
Hold
what
up,
woman
I'm gonna tell you.
not at
I'm gonna tell you what's so sad about
Tell me
that.
what-
I see the. Can I cuss on your show?
Oh yeah.
I see a lot of fuckboys on Facebook who would brag about their woman running their fucking house.
Yeah, that's
They would sit there and brag about how the fuck they wife. They gotta get their permission from their wife to do this, do that. They run. They would brag on fucking social media, and it pisses me off that they wife run their motherfucking house.
Right. And see, that's a problem, because I think what I think is the ultimate problem of black community, because black family makes up black community. The problem that we are having is we have liquidized all the lines of everything. Everything is so fluid. Oh, it's a matter of an opinion. We have to get back to defining what is and what isn't. Who is and who isn't. If we sit here and say the garbage need to be taken out,
That's not.
no, listen to what I'm saying. The garbage need to be taken out. And do the girls do it? Do the boys do it? Is the man gonna do it? Is the woman gonna do it? Nobody has been assigned the responsibility.
Sean.
So what's gonna happen with the garbage?
It's gonna stay there.
Oh,
You know, okay. Answer this question truthfully. It's a joking question, but truthfully, how many women right now if your man is a hole in the wall, right? And I put the clay there and I put the paint there. And I say, baby, when I'm gonna go to work, leave it right there. When I get back, I'll fix it. How many fucking women gonna touch that shit while he at work?
No,
I'm not.
I'm
but I'm
not
gonna tell
even
you,
me.
that's
Shouldn't me.
something.
You know what I'm trying to get at is
Oh, you know
y'all.
some
They just
women-
want to goddamn do both. They want
No.
They won't let
But
the
see,
man
that's something
take
that-
his time to come back and fix the
But what
motherfucker.
I want every person that's in this room, I want us to challenge ourselves and to challenge the people that are around us to reestablish gender roles, because I think that is a problem. Because I had to learn, like, one thing I had to learn being a single mom since 16 is I had to learn how to let a man be a man.
Me too.
Right? And so even though it's a whole lot of stuff I know how to do, you know what I'm saying? But I can open up my own door. But guess what? If I'm in if I don't care who car we in, I'm gonna sit right there in the car. You can walk in the store and forget that I'm with you, and then you gonna realize, well, where's she at? Because I'm gonna still be sitting in the car waiting on you to come open up my door.
Can I
right.
say something about that, LaShawn?
right.
I understand that now.
Mm-hmm.
But now. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you that you don't have men out here opening doors for women. Now, there's not a lot of men opening the door.
Well,
Chivalry.
let me tell you why.
Yeah,
Let me tell you why.
I know why.
Why?
Because the women allows it.
No,
Exactly.
no. Listen, they not sitting there in the car like I'm telling you.
They
If he
opening
get
the
out the
door
car, no.
before the
If he
man
get
come
out,
out.
if
She said
he,
he'll be in the restaurant.
Stay in the car.
I'ma still be sitting in the
Yeah,
car like this.
yeah,
You're talking
definitely.
about the
That's me.
consequences that I spoke of
yes.
earlier.
Now,
Consequences.
now all the
He'll
men
ca-
in
li-
here,
listen,
do you guys
listen.
open doors for
Yes.
your dates? Oh, you
Yes.
guys do.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
And car
He does it.
I part-time open doors.
Part time.
But I'm just saying, if we just go into the corner store, man, I'm not get in the car, man. I'm not gonna be opening your.
if we're out on
but
a
if we're
date?
on a date, if it's special case,
If she cute,
I
just
won't
tell
let
the
her.
truth.
no,
When she
I won't let
cute,
her- I won't let her walk into a building. But if we go into the store, a 5-minute ride, man, come on, man, open your door. Man.
but see, but
We-
that
we
can
not
send a
doing
mixed
that.
message if there's a young guy that's watching
Right.
you.
Right.
Exactly.
No. Okay, no. Now you talk about
That's
teaching. That's
true.
different.
No. It
If
don't
I'm
have to
teaching,
be.
that's
No.
different.
Listen, you're always teaching because
Yep.
it could be another
Someone's
young brother
always
at the
watching
store,
you.
at the store, at the
that
gas
same
station.
corner store.
That's in the
Okay.
car with his, and he see you. Oh, this brother ain't opening
Okay,
the door.
you know what?
So I'm gonna need my door.
You
open.
know what?
when we
You
were
know
at the
what?
restaurant?
You know what,
Every
fellas?
time. Every time.
This is when you say, you know what? I just learned something. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, prime. Hey,
That's a good
prime
point.
example.
That's a good
Prime
point.
example.
Prime
That's a good
example.
point.
How many women you see pumping their gas and the dude in the passenger seat?
A lot of times.
Not me.
Amen.
But I see that.
I
I
see
see
that
it
a
all
lot.
day long.
I knew a young man at 13 that had never pumped gas before. True story.
I see it all the time. My son is one. I rode with him and his baby mama to the gas station, and it was freezing. And his baby mama got out the car to pump gas, and I'm sitting there looking like, "Well, what's going on?" So I'm like, "What's
Right.
going on, Joe? Why
Right.
you ain't out the car?"
Right.
Now let me ask you a question. Would you say that goes back to how he was raised with you?
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Hold up.
It done
Or
got
is
hot.
it society?
It done
I
got
Don't jump.
just want to know.
It done
Well,
got hot.
you know what? Well, I will say that I did not allow him to get out the car and pump for me.
Ooh, see that? Childhood.
She didn't.
Childhood.
You
Hub son.
listen.
Hub son.
I do. Let me tell y'all about the gas
I like
pump.
that.
That is one of the things that I look forward to with being married. Is never going to pump gas
Hello.
again. Okay, I don't even want to go to the gas station.
Hello.
I don't even want to go.
We're
okay?
gonna send you in a lift and Uber. Don't worry about it.
I don't even wanna go.
Is it safe to say that if you're in a relationship or if you're married, the man is supposed to pump your gas,
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the man is supposed to make
Absolutely.
sure that you have gas in
Yeah.
your car at
Yeah,
all
just
times.
take my car.
No,
Just
no.
take. I don't even want to go to the
Okay,
gas
that's
station.
all I just
Respect.
wanted to clarify.
So
Just wanted to clarify.
let's establish this
I just wanted
on
to clarify.
Sunday.
For the people in the
I'll cook dinner
Uh-huh.
and you wash the cars and fill them up. How about
I
that?
just
Come
wanted
through.
the people
Right.
in the
That's
back.
good,
to
right?
hear.
Come through.
So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the G spot.
Yes.
Please, guys, if you want to see the rest of this, the other 5 weeks and beyond, we gonna need y'all to subscribe because we not gonna be on live next week. So we need y'all to go to YouTube and subscribe to DISCO100 Radio and tune in to hear week 2 of rebuilding the Black family. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to the G Spot. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.